Every detail of the days surrounding September 11th, 2001 are forever imprinted in my mind, starting with what I made for dinner the night before to the exact uniform combination I was wearing that day. The day started off like any other random Tuesday. Our office TV was always tuned to CNN. I remember when the coverage began in New York, when the first plane struck the World Trade Center. My coworkers and I gathered around the television and discussed how it was such a horrible accident. Shortly after, the second plane hit the second tower, and it was then that we knew that it was no accident. I remember going back to my desk and having just a sickening feeling overwhelm me, and I turned to my coworker and commented, "What is to stop them from hitting us here?" I forgot about that comment until a little while later, when the exec for the Chief of Staff of the Air Force's satellite office came over and announced that a plane had hit the Pentagon. I remember thinking, impossible. We did not feel anything, and no alarms were going off. We walked over to the TV, and sure enough, the news footage showed the very building I was standing in on fire. We stood there in disbelief and confusion as to what to do next, as there were still no alarms going off. A few minutes later, finally, the alarm sounded, and we were told to evacuate. Everything was orderly until we arrived to the first floor of the building, where we were met with mass pandemonium and the terrible smell of burning jet fuel. People were racing to the exits, glass doors were broken, security was threatening to close the blast doors. I remember a lady attached herself to me, trying to drag me further into the building to find her husband as she was screaming and crying. Once we exited the north entrance and walked across the bridge, I looked over my shoulder and saw the black clouds of smoke rise up from the building. As I looked forward, I saw the initial triage area set up and people in bloody bandages. I remember a few people collapsed, and I remember them evacuating the daycare kids into the lawn area outside of the building. Scared does not begin to describe my feelings. I spend a lot of time downplaying my experiences on 9/11 because I do not feel like I am a hero or a survivor. But I was greatly impacted by September 11th, 2001. Flight 77 impacted the Pentagon 2 corridors away from where I worked. I would say that 9/11 was a significant emotional experience in my life that still affects me 18 years later with a news clip on TV or a smell in the air. I will never claim to be a survivor and a hero simply because I was there that day, but my experiences will never be forgotten by me or my family.